Where
already. I don't know how Angry Sarge and Baltimore up next 410. Those names look familiar, but welcome to Bullets and Brews.
Are we on? Are we live?
Yeah, I'm the ODB, and with me, as always, you notice that we're just a twosome tonight, but we don't need more than that. With me, as always, the Rock Slide Heartbreaker is what I wanted to bring you to, man. If you guys saw the last Rate Your Build episode, man, I loved it. And our new head of talent acquisition, P80 Ralph. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I need an applause button. If any of you know how the audio shit works in this app, you need to tell me. So before we get started, what do I need to do? This is for somebody else.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're out there and if you're not, that's all right. You do not need to be present to win. Thomas VC, I don't know. I'm going to have to hop back over to the channel and post it. But
you already picked the winner?
I need to get your details, man. Yeah, I just drew it out of there. There was like 70-some people commented on that in like 48 hours. I was actually pretty impressed for something that's on the community channel. Oh, but I got to show you guys this.
Oh, that's the new one. That's the new one.
P80Ralph.com, man. Are these? We're still not taking. You're still not taking orders, right? We're backed up too far.
We are backed up, bro. We have a lot of big orders. We got people ordering 5 at a time, 10 at a time. So we're trying to get stuff right now. We actually just got another printer, so J-Ro is doing double the work as quickly as possible, bro.
Damn. Yes, because people sign up to get notified when they are available again.
I will send email notifications.
Yeah.
If they have their email address, subscribe to the website, they will get email notifications once they go back live on the website.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. I can't thank you enough for this. This is fantastic. I'm probably going to have to order a couple more because now that for some reason, I got this one in my hand. I said, well, now I need one of these right down here on the workbench, and I need one on the dresser. And why the hell don't I have one at work, man? I'll be like hanging my holster on the wall sometimes. Like, I need one of these everywhere. Oh, and a quick shout out to, if you follow me on Instagram, you saw this already. Hold on, let me get it on a camera. Quick shout out to GTS
Gunslinger, okay.
Engraving. Yeah, man, he did that. I'm about to send him some more stuff. It turned out way nicer, and it feels kind of thick too. I don't know how laser engraving works, but that thing feels really nice, man. Oh, the one other thing before we get into what we're going to talk about tonight, I'm not sure how I feel about the name, and I'm going to ask for audience responses, maybe, or P80 Ralph's going to yell at me, man. How many channels maybe go through how many names we had in 4 episodes? I was thinking, and I'm guilty of overthinking shit all the time. Believe it or not, right? The way you see me in there with the nippers and barely stand any shit and just run down to the range with a P80, you wouldn't think I overthink things, but I do. And I thought about that Bullets and Brews, and for a second I was like, it almost feels like we're condoning alcohol and shooting mixed together. Yeah. For just a second, I was like, is it? Most people probably don't see it that way, but maybe we should change that bullet part to something else. I still want to keep the brews. A couple names I'm kicking around. Velveeta in the house. Doing a bad job keeping up with these comments. I was kicking around Pews and Brews. Now, it's still gun related, but I feel like the bullets is almost like we're condoning live ammunition and alcohol together, if that makes sense. Maybe not. Maybe not. Go ahead. What do you think? Or Builds and Brews. I was thinking about Builds and Brews, Pews and Brews, or leaving it the same, or whatever. We'll take suggestions from the comments, and I'll pop some up on the screen. But what do you think, Ralph? Go ahead.
I was thinking the same thing, that the Bullets and Brews, some people may misconstrue that as like, as not enforcing. What's the word I'm looking for? They might misconstrue that as like promoting drinking and shooting. And of course, we're not about that at all. Anytime I go to the range, I make sure I'm 100%. Hey, Chris Gordon in the house. Pew Pew Brew. That's not bad. But yeah, anytime I go to the range, I make sure I'm 100%. I don't want to drink before. I leave it for after. So when I'm cleaning everything, I like to have a beer while I'm cleaning my shit. You know, I think it's like a ritual at this point. I always clean after the range. For me, it's soothing, I guess you could say. Put on some music, drink a beer, clean your shit. I like Bullets and Brews, but you know how some people are. Yeah, exactly, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I don't know either, but I'm gonna try to keep an eye on these comments and pop some suggestions up there, man.
I got full screen. Okay, now I don't have to squint because last time I was like squinting to try. I just figured out how to do full screen. All right, I'm sorry, guys.
That's all right. Yeah, I wanted to get that out of the way. So hopefully we get some good suggestions in here. We'll talk about it after. I mean, I guess all of it. I don't know, man. The Bullets and Brews thing just kind of gets at. I know Pews and Brews and Builds and Brews, but building, I've been known it's either coffee or beer. I don't drink water and build guns. It's one or the other. What?
Don't drink water.
I mean, I do drink water, but while I'm building, I either got a coffee pot on or I got a can or a bottle next to me.
Okay, I could respect that. I like coffee only in the morning. I only drink 1 cup. There's been rare occasions where I may pour a half of a second cup. Bullets and Brews is great, Chris Gordon. Okay, maybe we can stick with it for now. But hey, Mr. G, I think this is I know that logo. Just had my brew. How's it going, fellas? So Mr. G is Tactical Trash Panda on Instagram. He's got a dope account. I really like what he's doing. All about the 2A community. So I'm really glad we got Tactical Trash Panda in the house. That's awesome, bro. Hell yeah.
Yeah, I love that logo. I think I follow him, and I'm gonna have to try not to forget or not have so many of these that I forget to follow up on this stuff later. Cody, Colorado Kydex. I was just talking to somebody about you today. It's almost the end of March will be competition season again, man. I hope I can throw out that piece of shit I got on my belt and throw one of your rigs on there.
Hey, Anthony Cordova, that's my homie from work. That's what's up, my man. Anthony here. Okay, hey, I built my first P80 thanks to you guys. Recovering libertarian. Right on,
yeah, brother. Man. Yeah, Trash Panda. Hold on, I gotta get this one up there too. Angry Sarge is in it to win it, man. I love that name too. I'm jealous as hell. No, not that one. Word I want. Water sucks. Somebody asked me what my favorite favorite Adam Sandler movie was the other day.
Waterboy.
I didn't say that, man. Now I can't even remember what I said, and I can't think of anything but the Waterboy. Now that Jay put that in my head, man. Yeah, now I can't not. Water sucks. It really, really sucks.
Tech Money in the house. Hey, I really hope that motherfucker. What was his name again? The one that kept clowning you the whole fucking show.
The Goon, man. I requested to follow.
The Goon, man.
I want him to show up so bad, so I could be like, "Yo, Goon, I'm working on this 320 back here. I need you to yell at me before I fuck anything up. I need you to get in here and tell me what's up." Tactical Trash Panda. I got to go find you later, man.
Yeah, man. And I believe hopefully Disengage join us. I sent him a link. I sent the link out to several folks here. Hopefully we can get some people here joining us. So, all right, get things started, man. So a couple of things. First things first, I want to start off. So we're doing a big, when I say we, I mean myself and Angry Sarge. We are doing a big giveaway. Okay, so it's going to be a 9x19 Vapor Slide in FDE with the FDE Strike 80 custom stipple and Cerakoted by Gledhill Customs. So Gledhill Customs is donating his work. Wow. J-Roll 3D is going to be providing a stand. Angry Sarge is the one pretty much making this all happen. Yep, one of those stands. MGB is also going to be donating. HCM Holsters is also donating a holster, and Olight is actually donating a Baldor Mini. Who would have thought?
Wow, man, it is tough to. You gotta be kind of a big deal, or they really got to believe in you. Olight, I heard, to give stuff away. You know.
Well, that's what I mean. So MGB had a lot to do with that as well. He believes in me, man, and I give a big shout out because he's a mentor to me. He always helps me out. But yeah, that's a big package. The 9x19 Vapor Slides just came out. They are really hard to get. I think they're sold out at this point. No Strike 80, 940C? Oh, shit. I thought it was a Strike 80. I'm sorry, man. But yeah, regardless, the package altogether is going to be nearly $2,000. And some lucky winner will be able to win the package. So
the whole thing. That's amazing, man. So
what hell of a build. Swamp Fox and everything, man.
So where do we got to follow or go to make sure that we know when it's hot?
You're not going to like that I'm saying this, but it's on the Marine Gun Builder forum there. And they have to be a VIP member. So if you're not a VIP member, you are not entered to win. I'm sorry, Pew. We still love you, man.
No, but it don't bother me. Just because I can't see it, don't mean I don't appreciate it. Does that make sense? Yeah. Just because I'm blind, that's fine, man. There's all kind of things I can't see. I was talking to somebody about Hawaii the other day. I said, I might never get there. Why don't you tell me about it? So I like hearing about it, even if I can't see it, man. Even if I tried to get in again the other day. That's a whole nother thing. But anyway.
So we also got Angry Prepper coming in. He's on standby. I didn't want to bring him in before we got into the topic. So we're going to go into HR127 tonight with the Angry Prepper. I believe he's got a ton of knowledge on the subject. And I wanted his opinion on certain things because I did watch a couple of his videos where he was mentioning HR127, and I did like his points that he was making. People hate on Olight, but Edwin Sark. Yeah, that's a hard one.
It's probably somebody I should know. Yeah, I thought the same thing. I was like, I ain't gonna try to pronounce that because
I got it. Like an asshole. But Edwin Sarkeesian dropped that shit out of a helicopter and then froze it in liquid nitrogen. Shit still worked, and I was sold like a recovering alcoholic loves weed. What?
Sorry, man. I gotta stop popping those up while you're talking. I know it's a distraction.
Well, I like it because it keeps us engaged. Which brings me to my next point. Where the hell is Mr. Disengaged?
Dyslexic operator or disengaged? Yeah, I don't see him, man.
Angry Prepper is that guy. Respect. Okay, so yeah, there's a few guys that know about Angry Prepper. When I mentioned it to Pew-Tang, he was like, "Never heard of him," and I get it. I had never heard of him until I went down this list of YouTubers that eventually led him to pop up in my timeline, I guess you could call it. What do you call it? The algorithm? What do you call it?
Yeah, whatever. My your recommended. I don't know, man. I gave up understanding how the our digital overlords decide how we view content. Yeah.
Right. So I started watching the Magic Prepper, and then the Canadian Prepper, and then I got the Coda Boy 32, and then I got the God Family and Guns, and Iraqi Veteran 88, and Guns and Gadgets, and Johnny B, and Reno May, and then eventually Angry Prepper popped up on that list. Francisco, what up, what up? Hey, drinks up for my man Francisco. But yeah, man, Angry Prepper, he's got some good content, man. I like his point of view. I believe he's a firefighter for New York City. So he's doing big things, man.
Yeah, I just started down that rabbit hole, and I don't if I get to talk to, and this is you, man. You're head of talent acquisition, but and maybe I just need to watch more. I think I told you I only get to watch. I don't even watch an hour of video content a week, man. I just got so much going on. But he is one of the ones I'm gonna follow now. And I started out at the Angry Prepper and watched his HR127, and then it kind of directs you over to the Angry Truth, which I guess is his second channel.
That's his other channel, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm hoping we can get him to talk about or let us know, tell us what the difference is between the two, if that makes sense. Not that we all, and I'm subscribed to both because I think I want to see both, but like, is there a difference between the content that goes on one or the other to see, some people may like one more than the other. If that makes sense, back to the algorithm. Like, I don't want to subscribe to too many things and then get a bunch of stuff I don't want to see. So I'm real interested to hear what kind of the difference is, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we can ask him. We'll see what he says. So first thing, I believe you wanted to talk about 3D printed guns.
Oh, you're going to get me all excited. Hold on. I got to find that one picture that F me. I know it's here somewhere.
Pop a comment up here. I don't want to keep checking my phone. I feel like when I rewatch the next day, all I notice is me looking away from the camera. I feel like it's kind of rude. like I'm losing my focus. Digital overlords for real. Who is that? The YouTube algorithm?
Yeah, you guys are talking. That's just what I got used to calling them, man. You know what I mean? Like some people make memes or say something about getting Zuck or Zuckerberg, and I guess it's the same on IG. I don't know who it is on Twitter, or who it is on YouTube, or who decided to fucking wipe Parler out. I think I kind of know what happened with Parler, but like all that shit. Yeah, maybe that's not right. Maybe that's not the generally accepted moniker. But that's what I decided to label them, so I don't have to think about who it is. And let's get this up here to start. Did I do this right?
So I had I was going to say a viewer. I had well, yeah, I guess he is a viewer. He watches the Rate Your Builds. So I had a viewer who sent me a green Glock 19 with the Rock Slide USA. I gave him a 3 stars because now looking back at it, it should have been a 1 because it was the Rock Slide USA. But, but
3 stars for the effort, man. That's no joke. I haven't even started yet. I got an Ender 3 Pro.
Oh, you see that one?
Yeah, I got it still in the box. I'm waiting for my teenage daughter to set it up, I guess, or I think I'm going to have her help me tomorrow afternoon. But it's no joke trying to get that stuff, like everything configured correctly, I guess.
Yeah. So this print or this build here that he put together is a Tech 9 upper on a 3D printed lower that takes Glock magazines. I thought this thing was crazy, bro. Look at that. Tech 9 with Glock mags? What?
Yeah, I really want the Tech 9, man. Until you showed me that, I was sold on, what are they calling it? The Mac Daddy. So it's and there's a couple. WLS is one of them that are that have been kind of floating it around. I think Control Pew came up with it or got it off somebody else. But anyway, it takes a Mac 11 upper and AR-15 lower parts kit. And I was sold on that. And then I saw this, man, and something about the holes up there and the heat shield or whatever the hell, man, it's just so classic. And maybe everybody else is too young. But I know Tech 9's still making music, right? I like a lot of Tech 9 tracks. And I was like, oh, I got to make that. But then I went looking for parts kits, and it doesn't seem as easy to find them for that, man. I'm a little discouraged right now. So if somebody's got a look at this little dip here. Hold on, I'm gonna try to share this other screen. Share. I'm a little technology challenged with this stuff still. Let's see. Can I put this joint up there?
Oof.
That work?
So the holes in the front, I believe, is what most rappers refer to as the cooling kit. Is that right?
Is it? I don't know.
Tech 9 with the lemon squeeze. You hear this in rap music all the time. We got the Tech 9 with the lemon squeeze, with the cooling kit and the lemon squeeze, some shit.
Bro, I just want it so bad. Yeah, and it looks like this is a thing, but I can't.
Apparently, yeah. Oh, yeah. That one looks like it takes Colt mags. Oh, that pink one though. Yeah.
This one here, yeah. This is just an image search, man. But I love that. Whatever you're talking about, the lemon squeeze.
Wow. The lemon squeeze. I don't know what it means. Somebody in the comments, please. What the fuck is a lemon squeeze? I always hear this.
I want it so bad. Who's here? Why is there 2 of me? Never mind. That's me sharing the screen.
Yeah, I didn't see 2 of you. I still see what you got on the screen there on your Google. Tech 9 with the lemon squeeze. Who the fuck said Tech 9 with the lemon squeeze? I forgot, bro.
But I dig it. I really want it. And where's the other? Let me show you this. I guess we'll look at these some of these Mac Daddies, man. And don't get me wrong, it looks cool. I like it, but there's just something about that holes, man. The heat shield or dissipator or whatever you want to call it up in the front. Hold on, let me jump in these comments.
Come on, Bob. Stay with the lingo, the cooling kit.
The cooling kit. The lemon squeezy. I like that. Oh, shit. I'm gonna find out whatever that means, and I'm gonna want to kill myself later. I'm gonna be like, oh, you asshole. You said that many times.
Now I have to figure it out. I'm gonna check Urban Dictionary real quick. Hold on. I'm sure Urban Dictionary will tell me. UrbanDictionary.com. It's opening. Okay. Lemon.
It's all right, man. Look at the I got to do one of them. But I went looking I found a Cobra parts kit. So what's their faces? Who is it? Hold on. I'm going to stop the screen share.
Okay. Lemon squeeze is a dovetail or beaver tail safety on the handgun, such as a 1911.
Cody Waterhouse, that's pretty sure it's a drink. It sure as hell sounds like
the lemon squeeze is a drink. Nah, I've heard Tech 9 with the cooling kit, and whenever they mention Tech 9, they always say the lemon squeeze. So I want to say it's something gun related, but from what it says here on Urban Dictionary, it's something about a beaver tail on the 1911 or a handgun or a safety, something gun related. Yeah.
All right, but anyway, so who is it? MAF Corporation sells just like an upper kit that they call wind chimes for the Mac 11. but they've been out of stock for forever. And Cobra directly, oh shit, there I go, shaking the table again, man. I got to watch my hands till I get that set up. Chris Gordon just bought a Tech 9 with a lemon squeeze. Well, fucking hook us up, man. Where you getting these?
That's the line of the rap song. Just bought a Tech 9 with a lemon squeeze. That's what they say in the rap songs.
Anyway, man, Cobra appears to sell the whole parts kit, and MAF is like $300 for just the upper. Cobra that makes the Mac 11 sells the whole parts kit, everything but the receiver, for like $415. That includes a fire control group I don't need, but I might go that direction. I'm trying not to get too far ahead of myself. I got to get a teenager to help me set this printer up and get me a print done, or at least get the printer working and running. I hear it takes a couple days to print either one, either the Tech 9 or the Mac 11 lower. Both of them take, but I hear it's like a 2-day print once you get it started, because you got to. Maybe somebody, we don't have any 3D printing experts. I figured the comments would have blown up yelling at us that we're stupid by now. Yeah, it was time for another brew. Tech Money.
What you drinking, Bob? What you got there? Blue Moon again?
Yeah, it's Blue Moon again.
Okay. Yeah, I had some buddies over last night, and they left a couple of these Monacos in my fridge. Monaco, it's like a spiked citrus rush vodka mixed drink kind of thing. It's pretty good. Shout out to my man Ant for leaving those for me. Future and Lil Uzi were rappers. Were the rappers. Okay. Was it Lil Uzi?
I wonder if I can see these comments after. I feel like I want to remember all this shit, and I hope it is. Tech Money says the Monaco's a shit. Hey, Ralph, somebody popped up that I might need to add to the stream. We got a visitor.
We got Angry Pepper?
Looks like it.
Oh, shit. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Angry Prepper in the house. This guy here, I believe he's a firefighter for the New York City. Introduce yourself, man. I think there's some folks here who do not know who you are and are not familiar with your channel.
All right. Like you guys said, my name is the Angry Prepper, but my real name is Jason. So I am a New York City fireman, been a fireman for 17 years in March.
Okay.
Wow, man. That's incredible. Cheers to see you.
Yeah, man.
What you do, man.
Thank you, man.
Appreciate you.
So we understand that there's two Angry Prepper channels. Can you tell us the difference?
All right. So that's a little bit of a history. I started the Angry.
Yeah. No, go ahead. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, yeah, give us some background. What got you into this, or what made you decide to start your YouTube channel, man? And yeah, I was just telling Ralph a little bit. We were talking about you before you got here. I said I get to watch very little on YouTube, but you're one of the ones that I signed up for that I need to see everything you put out now. But I started on the Angry Prepper about HR127, and then I end up on the Angry Truth. So I think that's what you were about to get into.
Right.
What the difference is between the two channels. I think, yeah, that's super important so people know what to expect on either one.
Right. So I had I started the Angry Prepper probably about 9 years ago, maybe 8-9 years ago. I started a second channel called the Outdoor Channel, which was about survival shit. So anyway, my Angry Prepper channel gets deleted last year. Right. So and that was a bit of a screw up on my part, listening to somebody from YouTube. I guess I shouldn't have been listening. So anyway, channel gets deleted. And this channel that the emergency preparedness channel you guys see now is actually my outdoor channel. So now I moved everything over to the new Angry Prepper channel. As I started doing this, Angry Prepper, a lot of the shit that I was talking about was like political based. Right. So I said, it's not really talking about prepping. And a lot of it was going a little too far into politics. So I said, fuck it, start a second channel. And then that's what it was. So the second channel is more political based. The first channel is about emergency preparedness.
That's what's up, man. So yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about good old HR127. We can't avoid the topic because it's okay. So let me start off with my point of view on this thing. I think they wanted to put something out there that was so ridiculous, so over the top that it just won't pass no matter what. There's no way this thing is passing. I personally believe there is no way this thing is passing, but they put it out there so that anything that comes after this will become like, oh, well, at least it's not HR127, and they will then consider that. That's what I see this as.
Well, first of all, what do you start with a bill that's stupid? You know, it's, you know what, and I'm not a gun owner, and I had like one or two people on my channel go, well, what do you care? I'm like, all right, moron, maybe because I'm an American. Secondly, it goes against the Second Amendment. Thirdly, it's the stupidest bill ever created, right? So the problems with this bill is, besides all of it, it's that I think what the Democratic Party does is they put something out this stupid, and they see how many more stupid people they can get to join their stupid train. And once they get on board in this train, they're like, all right, full steam ahead at some point. Now, you're right. Will this particular bill pass? No. But they will definitely throw a bill out there similar to that in 3, 6, 9 different bills down the line. But at least we're getting an idea of what they're thinking. The problem is the next few bills that get signed into play, most gun owners are going to go along with it. So with a bill this disruptive, people right now are like, no way, we're not doing it. So they're like, all right, we're going to pull it back, and we're going to give you little pieces of this stupid bill at a time to make you stupider and stupider, to make you give up your guns.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, we're gunless, like Australia, right?
Yeah, I've had tons of those conversations, man. I don't open a lot of eyes, but over the last 10 years. Not to say I really got involved in trying to change minds, I guess, in the last 4 or 5 years, right? The more people attacking me for being conservative or having certain views or being more outspoken, I say, well, it's not about guns. This is about freedom. How are you going to feel when, you don't want so-and-so to say something on Twitter or Facebook or out loud in public? What if it's something that you care about, right? I'm like, what do you care about? What do you like to talk about? Okay, can you, and most people can't, but like, can you wrap your head around what if the government all of a sudden told you couldn't say that, right? Or you like doing this. What if all of a sudden the government said, and they did, right? When COVID first started, I couldn't believe it when I walked down the street, take my son down to the park, right? Because all the schools are closed and everything. The basketball hoops are ripped off of there.
Yeah.
So I think we've got people's attention now, I guess. They've seen what can happen. We've all seen the images and the videos of the skate parks filled with sand and shit like that. I think it was out in California. Yeah, I went down there and basketball hoops were gone. I was like, at least there's some more people that are going to be willing to listen when I say it's not about guns. It's about your freedom to do what you want, your access to things, not being told what you can think or what you can have. None of it's about guns. It's about freedom.
Right.
Anyway, yeah. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It goes into control. So here's the issue. And someone brought up a great point. Not so much a great point, but it was an article about China. China's having a masculinity problem. So obviously, men who have less testosterone in their body, and we're seeing this worldwide, but we see it basically here in the United States because we let the psychotic patients of America run our school systems and our election boards and all this other stuff. So now you got people who are pretending to be a different sex and telling us that it's fine for a grown man to be feminine. So they try to destroy masculinity. The reason why I bring up masculinity and control is that docile people, or let's put it like this, masculine men who have balls, who are aggressive, they tend to think for themselves. Men who don't have that, beta males, there's another word, one out there, I think it's called delta males now. Those guys, they go along with the program because they have less testosterone, they have less confidence. Confidence is a huge thing, right? Yeah. You see what happens with confident guys. They're docile, they're tame. Women beat them, you know. They're yelled at work. They're disrespected, and they just want to be liked, and they go along with the program. Now look at us now, right? Most men are going along with the program. They're willing to give up their guns. They're willing to wear the mask. They're willing to wear 2 masks now. They're probably even willing to get anal swabbed, right? So, and that's a real thing. So now, imagine all of this coming into play at the moment men are at our weakest, right? And even women who fought for their right to vote and be free and make their own choices are starting to go back to being docile and playing along. So now we're entering a stage where they can tell us whatever they want, and we'll just go, you know what, man, you're right. I'll put 3 masks on now. Matter of fact, I'll put my head in a plastic bag just to keep fucking COVID from getting me. You know, that's where we're going.
Just to add on to that, it's so funny you said that, man. I was having this conversation with Pew-Tang, I want to say yesterday, or I don't know, what was it, Pew-Tang, earlier today or yesterday, where the gay jokes have now become normal. And I'm not a big fan of it. Somebody makes a gay joke, I'll ignore it. I'm not taking part of that shit. I believe what you're saying, man. The whole masculinity, they're pushing this whole agenda of making men more feminine, docile, I guess is the word you used. But what I was telling Bob Pewtang here is that they've been pushing this agenda for the last like 20 years, where now it's normal in movies, TV shows, music, and now it's to the point where men can play sports with women dressed up in a fucking skirt and a wig. Like, yeah, I'm a woman, just because you want to say you're a woman. And when you said what you just said, that it's exactly what I thought. The conversation I was having with Pew-Tang, where I was like, bro, they're really pushing this gay agenda as if it's like we have to accept it and we have to make it normal, when, okay, we have to accept that this guy wants to be a woman. Like, men, like you said, we need to be men, or else we're just going to get pushed around. They're going to take our guns. They're going to take our voice. And at that point, it's, what are we? Just sheep. We're fucking sheep.
Yep. And what is it? What did they say? They say tough men make for a good time. Good time makes for weaker men. Pretty sure I'm like paraphrasing it. But again, talking to a guy in my firehouse last night, we're talking about giving up guns, and he goes, "Look at Australia. Australia had that one mass shooting, the one mass shooting they had, and they went on a tangent and they took everyone's guns away, right? Or they did the mandatory gun buyback, whatever it was they did." And he goes, "You know what happened? No more." He goes, "No more mass shootings." I go, "All right." I said, "But they did have a mass stabbing. They had someone hit them, a bunch of people in Australia with cars. The crime is going up because the bad guys have the weapons now, because the good guys don't." I said, "So if you give up your guns tomorrow," I said, "they're going to go over to Jimmy," the guy I'm talking to, "they're going to go over to your house and rob your shit, because they know now you have no weapons." The bad guys don't sit around, and when guns are taken away from good citizens, bad guys don't go, "Guys, we're going to have to give up our guns now. We got to stop being criminals." It's never been said. Criminals are opportunists. They're going to jump at the moment to see disarmed citizens and jump into action. This is why we don't give up our guns. And he goes, "Well, what if it saves one kid's life?" I said, "Yes, a school shooting will probably never happen again, but your wife and kids might be Kaiser Soze because you don't have any guns. You walk into your house and your wife and your kids are getting beat up and raped. And for what?" Right? I said, so guns have its place. Common sense gun laws are bullshit. Yeah. They're absolute bullshit. I've never heard such a stupid term, if you will, because common sense apparently is not common sense to a lot of people out there. We're losing that ground with common sense.
Yeah, I don't know how more people don't. I don't know why that's a foreign concept, and maybe it's just because people have been brainwashed over the years. I guess that laws are created to punish someone for doing something wrong.
No.
That makes it. That's why laws exist. Period. To say this is unacceptable because it's going to hurt people, is to punish people. And the criminals, the ones you say you're trying to stop, the mass shooters, the robbers, the school shooters, they've already decided to disobey all your law. I cannot believe the number of conversations that you view online or that I have. They're like, well, we need more gun laws. I'm like, why? I'm not going to break the laws we have now. I wasn't going to shoot up a school to begin with. So what does penalizing me or taking $200 from me for every gun and magazine that I have in my garage, what does any of that do? And for some reason, they can't just wrap their head around it. Like, I don't know. Are they just brainwashed, man? Are they too bought into the system that the talking heads just told them this is going to save a child and that's enough for them? They just believe it with no proof and no evidence or data to support it.
It's all about control, man. It's all about control. Like Angry Prepper was saying, at this point, it's not about guns. It's about control. It's about put the fucking mask on, do what we say, and the scariest part about HR127 is the whole public database thing, man. At this point, criminals will literally go online. They're going to have it's like shopping on Amazon. Oh, I want an AK-47. This guy has it right there. Oh, where does he keep it? Oh, it says here he keeps it in his garage on the top shelf. Because that's what the bill is saying. You have to tell them where it's at, what it is, what caliber, serial numbers. It's like a shopping list for criminals. This shit is insane.
Yes. And thank you for bringing that up, the National Firearm Registration part.
That's
and, where you're going to store it, how many safes you have in your home, right? It's all public. Whether you're insured or not, which I'm pretty sure you're going to have to be insured. But the other side of that coin, HR127, is the psychological evaluation.
Yeah, I saw that.
Right? So now the psychological evaluation, what if the psychologist is a dick? Right? What if he's a liberal prick and sits there during the interview and goes, you guys are talking, you're jiving, you're going along. He's like, and by the way, man, who did you vote for in the 2020 elections? And he goes, Trump. Boom. Now you're screwed because he hates Trump so much. Now he hates you. Now he just psyched you for voting for Trump because clearly whatever his reasoning behind it's going to be, he's going to use some fancy doctor words on a paper to screw you over. People don't see it. And the crazy thing is the attorney general of each state has to approve the psychologist. So if, for example, here in New York City, our attorney general is Letitia James, that lady's an idiot. So she's going to make sure the doctors are on board with her and her agenda and make sure that gun owners like myself, if I come for my first permit and license, they're going to be like, well, this guy, first of all, he seems too aggressive. He has too much testosterone. He seems like a man, and we can't put a gun in the hand of a man. So we're not going to give it to him. And then here comes Kevin, and Kevin dresses like a woman. Well, he needs to protect himself, so let's give him the gun. Meanwhile, Kevin is psychologically unsound.
Yeah.
Liberal doctors are the ones the liberal psychologists are the ones who can definitely take guns away from us.
Yeah, it's absolutely insane. I can't believe, and I never thought of the two in the same conversation, in the same sphere, whatever you want to call it, until you just said it. Like, told me I have to accept a grown man in a dress walking into the public restroom after my daughter, but because I like guns or I like being outdoors or I like whatever, I like contact sports. That's toxic masculinity, and you can judge me and say I've got a mental problem or there's something wrong with me for being a man, but a man that wants to be a woman is somehow more mentally stable. Yeah, it has nothing to do with mental stability.
That's
yeah.
fact, bro.
What you've chosen. Yeah. Anyway,
it's just it's again, and the toxic masculinity. I had already told my wife. I said, look what they're doing. I said, they're emasculating men. At least they're trying. Now, obviously, if a man lets himself be emasculated by a woman, saying don't, cross your legs while you're on the train. Don't manspread. Don't mansplain. First of all, those are the two stupidest terms I've ever heard. But whatever. So now you got women like trying to here in New York anyway, they try to check you. They try to say dumb shit to you. And I told one lady, it's like we got into it wasn't an argument, but it was going to that point. And she said something stupid like, well, you men, I was like, listen, lady, just because you're ugly and no one likes you doesn't mean all fucking men are bad, And she was like, well, now you're attacking my looks. I'm like, yeah, because you're being an asshole right now. And I said, the only thing for you to do is leave this situation alone. I said, you're gonna sit there and try to play, I guess Joan of Arc with me and act like you're standing up for feminism, and you're not. You're sitting here breaking my balls because it was the way I said something. I might have said thank you, but it was the way I said thank you. I think it was too aggressive for her, and she just had something to say about it. So I was like, damn it, man. So listen, New York City, it is what it is, man. Everyone's here. Every social justice warrior is here in New York City. So I'm always in on pissing somebody off here.
So you mentioning that right there, what is it like in New York City right now? They're saying everyone's leaving and the streets are fucking empty. Is that really what's going on out there?
Yeah. So listen, I knew people were leaving. I didn't know they were leaving to Florida. So apparently something like 1.3 million people left New York City, and most of them, I don't know how many, but most of them went down to Florida. The streets, I wouldn't say they're empty, but there are times of days where they're supposed to be crowded, and then you get there and you're like, it's like, holy shit, there's not a lot of people here. Traffic for whatever reason is still insane, but crime here is out of control.
I've seen that, yeah.
You would figure the people are leaving, crime would leave with them, but no, they're sticking around and they're having at it where they can.
Someone is asking, hey, Angry Prepper, my son is doing the EMT process for the June class. Any advice?
Is that weird? Sorry, guys. If you didn't know, Jason, right? Jason's your first name. If you didn't know, we're kind of new to this, but I saw that. I was like, you know what? That sounds like somebody that's got a legitimate question. I'll pop that up there. We don't have to interrupt the flow if we don't want to. But
No, that's fine. I mean, listen.
Yeah.
He's doing the EMT process. Any advice? All I would say is just do it, especially if he wants to be a fireman. That's the best way for him to become a fireman right now is to go through the EMT process. If he doesn't want to be a fireman, it's still good because he can move on to medic and he can get his foot wet in the medical field and see where he wants to go from there. A lot of EMTs turn medic, turn nurse. That's usually the flow they go, or they go down the path of a fireman.
Okay.
Thank you for that, man.
Yeah, I like that. Just have to keep popping up questions there at the bottom. That'll definitely keep the flow going.
That's fantastic. And I guess we were talking about HR127, but this is something else. And maybe I'll eventually get I got some things I want to set up because I did a Stop the Bleed class last year. Are there, from your experience, right, or coming from you as a firefighter and obviously with medical training, what would you say is the most important medical, I guess, field type medical skill, if that makes sense from a prepper perspective, right? I know the couple things that I've taught my children I need them to do in case they get shot, somebody breaks their leg if we end up in the woods or something like that. Is there one skill that you would say that everybody must know, right? If the folks watching walk away and don't learn shit else, what do they need to go learn when they walk away to help them survive whatever comes next?
Well, the medical portion of prepping, it's way too complex. But the skill everyone should have are two skills. One should be trauma skills. First aid, I think most of us know that. I hope so, right? But trauma skills like to stop the bleed, that's good. The second one is long-term medical care, right? So long-term medical care, when we talk about prepping, people forget about the long-term medical care part because you could stop the bleed, you could stitch it up, but now what about the infections, right? What if it's a gunshot wound and you happen to stop the bleed, remove the bullet, Now you have to do long-term care. Long-term care is like anything over a couple days, right? Anything over, I think it's like 3-4 days, will now be considered long-term in the prepper world. And you got to know how to read the signs of infections, or if it's not healing right, what to do. So these things are skills you should have. Everyone wants to go right to first aid and trauma and stop bleeding, but it's a lot of components to it. And then there's the health component. There's keeping yourself healthy during that time. You know, you don't want to become too stressed out, even though you're going to be in a stressed out situation. You want to make sure you have the right amount of sleep, even in a stressed out situation, right? Your sleep is going to help you wake up the next morning and make great judgment calls, as opposed to sleeping for 2 hours because you're stressed out, waking up and making a shitty judgment call.
I agree, man. So with the stress thing that you just brought up there, I want to mention that I forgot where I saw this, but apparently stress, how do I word this? Stress, in a way, slowly kills your immune system. There you go. I'm sorry, I couldn't think of the word. So stress, lack of sleep, all of that stuff kills your immune system. And the whole wearing the mask thing, where you're depriving your brain of oxygen, that also kills your immune system. And not necessarily to say it kills it, but it's weakening it over time, little by little. And I think that is also part of the whole control thing. They want us weaker to the point where we can barely even fight anymore. So we're so stressed out that if we do get injured or we get a cut, and let's say for whatever reason, maybe an EMP strikes, we have no power and all this crap, you know, and the world goes crazy. At that point, we're on max stress. We're on survival mode at that point. So I agree, man. The stress thing, I believe they are trying to stress everybody out, shutting down businesses, cutting income, keeping everybody locked away at home. Oh, here, we'll give you a bunch of free money. Just please stay home. We don't want you guys in the streets. We don't want you guys working. Just here, please. We're going to give you guys money. Just stay home. And about the first aid thing, I work construction, so we have to take CPR and first aid classes. So I am certified in CPR and first aid. And I agree, everyone needs to at least know the basic of first aid. You have to know to treat a wound, a burn, a bee sting, whatever it may be, whatever the injury. So Shah, what's up, man? Whatever the injury at hand may be, you need to know how to take care of it. You know, if it's a slight cut and it's going, you can see some of your fat inside the cut. It's a different way to treat it as opposed to a scrape or a scratch.
Right.
So we do have to know at least the basics of it. I know I keep a small first aid kit in my bug out bag, and that's something I don't usually share with people, but I do have a bug out bag because you never know, man. You never know.
Very good. Well, yeah, listen, the other thing is you got to suck it up too with blood. There are people who, like, you know, they see blood and they actually pass out, which is crazy. You know, and I get it. I sort of get it, but maybe because I was just raised the way I was, it's not a big to do. But there's a question that I'm looking at. If you mind if I answer it?
No, please. If I miss putting one up too, you start talking, I'll find it.
It's by Andrew the Wanderer. He's asking, what is your take on survivalist training and skill sets? Survivalist training and skill sets are very important. So here's the one thing. When I first got into prepping, I went bananas, right? And I got bug out bags out the ass. I had fucking more MREs than the military actually has. I went crazy. And then I found out, all right, but if I bug out, now what? What I'm going to do? How am I going to start the fire? How am I going to build a shelter if my tent rips, right? If I lose my fire starting equipment, how am I going to start a fire naturally? So all of these things hit me, and I took wilderness training classes, which are one and the same. Now, survivalist training, they have urban survival training courses too, which is, I'm still looking for a good one to take. But also, being that I live in a city and I've been adapting to the shit that's gone on, 9/11, the blackout in 2003, 2 hurricanes, snowstorms. I mean, you know, even though snowstorms are just snow, you know, It's not apocalyptic snow like the media makes it.
But it wrecks everything else, right? People don't realize it. Like, we've had snow on the ground for the last 3 weeks. It's never thawed out, and it makes everything more difficult, right? Even at work, just walking to the dumpster is more difficult. People don't realize that to survive, if you had to leave your house right now, is a completely, at least if you're in the snow belt, right? Or if you're in the Northeast, anywhere it's snowing, surviving right now, 3-4 months out of the year, is a completely different animal than in June, where we're at up here. Go ahead, sorry.
Well, the thing is, so I do a lot of like sleeping outdoors in the snow. So like when I see this, it doesn't bother me because I'm like, it could be worse. We could be in Montana somewhere where they have like fucking 13 feet of snow, you know? And so I try to do comparisons to other places. Like I'll go, all right, that was pretty bad, but at least it's not like this country. That's another reason. That's how I deal with my stress too, right? So I don't try to get stressed out over shit. I go, well, at least it's not like this, and I'll compare it to something else, you know? So obviously, like the Trade Center 20 years ago now, when that happened, there was no comparing it. You know, there was no like, well, at least, I mean, the long short of it was at least the building didn't fall on me. You know, I mean, that's how I sort of equated it for me.
Right.
You know, and then all the other shit that came behind it. You know, you just now you sit there and you're waiting for your turn, if you know what I mean. You know, but when other things happen now, we're just like, yo, it could have been a lot worse. If we lose power, like downtown Manhattan lost power, I think last summer, it was between 14th Street and 59th Street lost power. And I'm like, well, at least it wasn't a total blackout, or at least it wasn't an EMP. You know what I mean? Like, so you make comparisons like that. For me, it brings the stress level down a little bit because I know that we can get out of this. You know, the other thing about stress is if you have a plan, you're less likely to be stressed out, right? It's like a fireman going into a fire with no plan. You know, you're walking into it like, all right, and then the fucking room lights up on you and you start screaming and panicking. You know, nobody wants to see that shit. So that's why you have a plan. You drop to one knee, you open the line, you put the fire out, right? That's normally how it would go. So even with prepping, you need a plan. The plan's going to de-stress you, if you will.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because I feel like I am prepped, but I don't plan things. Like, yeah, I've got canned foods and I've got the bug out bag, I've got the weapons, but I don't train. I don't train every day. I don't go to the range every day. I'm not practicing my draw. And, you know, I feel like from what you just said there, I feel like I could be doing more as opposed to just sitting on the couch replying to messages and, you know, worried about what other people are doing. Oh, let me help this guy. He's got a problem with this. And, oh, this person messaged me and said this. You're right. We could be taking time to actually practice what we would do in a situation as opposed to getting sucked into the social media distraction that they got going on. And I didn't want to get sucked into it, man. And when I started the YouTube channel, I was completely off of social media. I was so against it. I was like, no, this is bad. We're going to get sucked into this shit. Next thing you know, I'm just going to be living on my phone. And after I started the YouTube channel, people kept messaging me, hey, they kept commenting me, hey, I want to send you a message. I need your help. And it got to a point where I was like, you know what, man? Fine, I'll make an Instagram. So out of this Instagram, it snowballed effect, and it snowballed into, I guess, an addiction, because now I'm constantly checking. I'm always looking, and I'm always like, well, this guy, I need to help this guy. And somebody commented and said this, and I'm sucked in. And I feel like I'm trying to get out of it, man. And it's affecting my personal life at this point. It's affecting my work. I can't focus at work because I'm getting notifications. I can't focus on my girlfriend sitting next to me in bed. She's over here begging me for attention at this point. And I'm sitting here like, babe, just one more second. And it turns into an hour or 2 or 3. So I think that is also part of the agenda. They want us distracted. They don't want us getting prepared. They don't want us to be ready. They want to just catch us off guard. And then, like Pew-Tang said, with the snow outside, this would be the worst time for shit to hit the fan.
Absolutely. But the other thing I do is I would look at it as a challenge, right?
Challenge?
Oh yeah, it'd be a challenge for me, big time. Now listen, the thing you said about the social media, which you and I'm a little bad at it, so you should do is take an hour a day or split it up into 2 times a day where you're helping the people out, right? And once in the morning, once at night. Turn your notifications off so you don't see it popping up while you're working. You just know that at 8:30 I'm going to answer these messages, and at 7 o'clock I'm going to answer these messages, right?
Sure.
And if you want to be slick, you throw another 20 minutes in there right before you go to bed. Though before going to bed, being on your phone's a bad idea, right? So I would say pick 2 times, and then an hour before you go to bed, leave your phone alone.
Damn, that's so hard, man, because not just me personally, but I know a lot of people who go to sleep on their phone, like will literally sit there clicking away to the point where the eyes are shutting, and that shit is so bad, man.
Yes.
I wish I didn't do it, but I'm a victim. I feel like I knew it was bad. I didn't want to get into it, but by being a YouTuber and folks reaching out, you feel like, well, I guess I have, fans or people that look up to me, and you feel like you have that responsibility to reach out to these people and respond because they trust your words so much. Bro, Ralph lit.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, if you get sick, if you break, if you will, because of this, you're not going to be helping anyone. So that's why the time slots work better, because it works for you and you're still helping them out.
You're absolutely right, man. Maybe I'm doing it backwards, but I used to have that problem in the job that just laid me off because of COVID this past summer. It was all day and all night. It's the last thing I did before bed. And I've even caught myself, and I didn't realize it, brushing my teeth, looking at my phone, scrolling with the other hand. I say, you know what? I got to stop that. That's no good for you, man. Right? I miss Ralph calling early, and I feel terrible. But you know what? Especially, on the weekend, on my days off, I put the phone down completely, and 2, 3, I don't worry about it anymore. I stick it in another room. I stick it in a garage and go do something else, because I will. You're absolutely right, man. And we're all trained to do that. And I think it's part of the bigger agenda is to train us to stare into that, to believe the fact checkers, to social media to be the new religion. That we're always thinking about it and what the next thing is that we want to stare at.
It's a distraction. Yeah.
Yep.
Can we get some questions from the comments, Bob? Let's see.
Do we have questions? What's this say? Go to team to delegate, because I think everyone like that.
I think, we all need a team. I'm living in my van till the weather in Chicago is better, and I won't camp if not cell signal. Ooh. Yeah, I mean, I feel you. What are you going to do, sitting in your car for, overnight? I mean, you want some sort of entertainment. What are you going to sit there practicing your draw in the van? I don't know. Do you have your weapons in the van? Are you going to be practicing your CPR, your first aid skills? You're just going to want to be distracted. I really trust Ralph Word. Ask him. Time for another brew.
Excuse me. All right, I got to ask this because and this is probably, or I feel like I'm falling into it, and maybe it's because I'm a bit of a hoarder, right? I do more in the spring cleaning. I do a fall, a spring, and a middle of the summer. Take all this crap I've been saving. My bug out bag, or whatever you want to call it, my get home is more what I call it, right? Because if I'm out in the car somewhere, I want to get back to the people that are most important to me, right? My squad, what I'm going to survive, whatever just happened, and I need to get home with. I feel like it's building, if that makes sense. Like, here's a fire starter or whatever. I keep adding things to it, and now I've got 2 different bags in the trunk that are all full of things. Is there like a 5 or a 10 item or essentials list that everybody should have in their car to get back home or to get to the next supply point? If you're someone who's prepared for that, right? That knows wherever you are, maybe has 1 or 2, 3 different places they can go that are safe places to ride out the storm, the coming storm, if you will, the proverbial storm, like 5 or 10 or a dozen or something. I don't know, because again, I know I've got way too much stuff in the trunk. Not too much. You can never have too much, right? I got all kinds of water and this and that and the other thing. But for the folks that don't have that I can survive in my trunk for the next 72 hours if I need to? Is there a core list that everybody can go out and get tomorrow?
Well, okay, so it's not so much a core list now. So if you go online and you type in bug out bag list, right, you see this big, I don't know, 2-3 page list of shit that you should have in your bug out bag. The problem with that list is it makes your bug out bag insanely heavy, and a lot of your weight is going to come from water, right? Yeah. So if you're carrying a gallon of water, great, good for you if you can, but that's 8 extra pounds, right? The list that I follow now, I got it from Dave Canterbury. Dave Canterbury is a wilderness survivalist. Sorry, he started something called the 10 C's. So for prepping, I started something called the 16 C's. It's a bug out bag list, right? And the list reads, and this is an add-on from Dave Canterbury's 10 C's. So the list reads cutting tool, which is like a knife, right? Knife or EMT shears, right? Cutting tools. You go covering element, that's your sleeping bag, your tent, combustion device, lighter, ferro rod, flint and steel, if you know how to use it. Containers, that's your metal your metal container that you can drink and or cook in. Cordage is rope, cotton material, that's like bandanas and stuff to put around your face, put around your head if it's hot outside. Cargo tape, which is duct tape. Candling device, which is lights and shit like that, a headlamp preferably, and then a backup flashlight. Coursing device, that's a map, compass, pace beads. Critical care kit, that's your trauma kit and or first aid kit. Cooking gear, that would be something like a folding stove or mini grate that you can hold over a fire. Communications, a radio of some kind, a two-way radio, a Bofang, an AM/FM radio. Chargers. So chargers is something new, and that's, again, if you have a phone or something electronic that you want to keep charged, you're going to carry a decent charger with you. Obviously, if the cell phone goes out, as the signal goes out, fuck it. That's what it is. What it is. But it's always a charger because technology is allowing us to do so now. And try to get a solar charger, something that you can charge while you're on the go. Then you have canvas repair needle, which is just a sewing kit, clean water, and cash.
Yeah, I feel like these days ammo is like cash, but a lot of people say that it is not a good idea to use ammo as a bartering tool just because at that point you're dealing with the wrong type of folks. So if you're in a situation where you are using ammo to barter, those folks just may gun you down and take your shit. So, I mean, what good is cash if society has collapsed? I mean, it's just pieces of paper at that point. At that point, I'd rather just trade an MRE for, I don't know, what do you have? You have a lighter? I'll trade you a couple cans of food for a lighter. You know what I mean? So, yeah. I hear you, though. I like the list. Please text me that. I definitely need to.
Yeah, and I tried to type it out, man. Hopefully, I remember to copy and paste it somewhere later. I just wanted you to know I wasn't responding to social media there. I was like, where do I write this down at in case I don't pay attention or watch the part of the video that I need to know this stuff? I disregarded cash altogether, man, and I got some cash in places. But you're absolutely right, because I was listening to another podcast the other day, and they said it's going to be weeks before everybody understands what's happening. If that makes sense. So as if we're talking about whatever we want to call it, a civil unrest, a civil war, a boom, whatever, I'm going to be able to use that cash for a very long time, even though I know, right? I understand what's happening. We understand what's happening. I know it's eventually going to be worthless. Right. I'm going to be able to use that to acquire supplies as I move to wherever I'm going for a very long time. For those,
I'm sorry.
Chris Gordon here with the question. Bugging out is the last option, though, right? Would you agree?
Yes, absolutely. Because now you're exposed, right? You left your home. Now you're outside and you're exposed. Yeah. And depending on the area you're in is going to dictate how early you leave or how late you leave. Now, obviously, you don't want to leave too late, but you also don't want to leave too early. The sky's falling, Chicken Little. You don't want to be that dude either. But I would absolutely leave it as a last resort. There is an anti-bug out movement, bug out bag, or bug out bag movement in the prepper community that started, and guys are like, I'm gonna hold my ground. I'm like, listen, fucko, you're not fucking John Wick. You're not gonna sit there and take out a whole army of people, you know. And I said, in a more realistic aspect, is you could have a fire in your home. Then what?
And you're forced to go, yeah.
Exactly. So, also, being that you two guys just said what you said about cash, I'm changing the cash to currency.
Like gold and silver?
Gold, silver, like you said, ammo. Some people want to trade it, some people don't. Cigarettes, liquor. Currency, right? That's the shit hits the fan currency. But if you were bugging out like you were, and like Katrina, you're gonna need cash. Right? Obviously, once you get out of that situation and you're able to walk, you're gonna need cash to get around. But it just makes sense to put currency.
Yeah, I almost don't. I mean, they call it a bug out bag, but am I looking to honestly bugging out as the last option, in my opinion? Yeah, I just want to have anywhere I'm going to be for more than a few minutes. And honestly, I guess I've got one in the car, I've got one at work, I've got one here, is to be able to get to the next place, if that makes sense. Like, we call it a bug out bag, but it's not really. I think too many people get zoned in on if I need to leave my home, right? And I think that's what a lot of these questions are about. Like, is bugging out the last option? Do I need to bug out my apartment? Don't need to think about it like that. If you needed to survive for, and I heard somebody else talk about it on a podcast, they're like, start out, if you have nothing right now, get everything you would need to survive for a day. And then once you have everything you need to survive for a day, everything you need to survive for 2 days, right? Bare minimal, obviously minimalist. And then everything you need to survive for 3, if that makes sense. Like, what's in my trunk, I can live for a week if I had to, whether it's in that car or in a shack. That's kind of how I think about it, not necessarily if I need to run out. And leaving my home is a completely different scenario. But I don't think it's so much as a bug out bag as a get the fuck out bag, or whatever you want to call it.
So, like I said, it's a term, and I think a lot of people they get hung up on the term. You know, it's just what it is. It's you're getting out of your home, whether that fire is in your home and it's just displacing you from your home to your backyard, right? So, like I said, you have a fire in your home. That doesn't necessarily mean you're leaving the land. You're just getting out of the home. So, in essence, you're bugging out. If shit gets hot in your neighborhood, you're leaving your neighborhood and going somewhere else safer. Right?
Where are we going, though?
You got to come up with that plan. That's on you. That's, like right now as it stands, there's 2 places I can go if I had to fuck. Actually, 3 to 4 places I can go if shit got hot. Here. Someone asked a question about bugging out if you live in an apartment. And I would say depends on your neighborhood. If I live downtown Manhattan, where there's a lot less people, because those rich people are leaving left and right, we have a serial killer in Manhattan now, stabbing people on the train.
I saw that shit, man. That was nuts. This guy was literally just over there stabbing people for no fucking reason. For what?
Like sticking them like pigs or some shit. Letting them bleed out, right? So if you live in a city that's quiet, it doesn't make sense for you to leave unless you are running out of resources and then you have to move, right? But that's why you prep so that you don't have to leave. Your home, I mean, sorry. But like I said, other things happen that might push you out, And if you live in a city that's gang-ridden, the first thing you want to do is get the fuck out of the city.
Yeah. So Latina Prepper down here is asking, Angry Prepper, do you have a bug-out bag for your son and wife?
Yes. Everyone has their own bug-out bag.
Okay.
Yeah, I probably didn't do that well enough. I've told my children. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
You told your kids what?
No, on your own? It's every man for himself. This shit gets down. Here's my bag. Go make your export. No, man. They're aside. I've told them, like, you're going to be carrying some heavy shit, right? They got strong backs. They know they're all. I mean, they're not all. I don't think they're ready to fight a grown man yet, right? They're almost as tall as me down to this size, but they understand. If that makes sense, like, we've run the drills. Like, if we need to leave, I'm going to hand you this, and you're going to the car, or you're going out the back door. If that makes sense. I don't know if that's what her question was or not. Maybe that's not right, but I told my son, like, look, you're going to be carrying a lot of food, right? Feel how heavy this is, and I made him put it on. I probably should make him run laps around the neighborhood wearing it or some shit. But I said, this is going to be yours. I don't want you to be scared. And maybe that's something people don't talk about enough, is trying to, and you can't, right? It's just like training and shooting, or defensive training, if that makes sense, defensive shooting training that I've taken. And most of the instructors I've had say, look, this isn't going to prepare you for what's going to be happening in your body. None of it's going to feel the same if it's real. And I tell them, like, you're going to be scared. What I need you to understand is, you look at me and I hand you this and you put it on your back and you follow your mother and we head out. If that makes sense. And he's got certain food and my other daughter's got certain medical supplies in their bags. But I don't know if that's what she's asking or not. I don't know if that's smart or not. Maybe they shouldn't be. Everybody has a little bit of everything, but you know what I mean? They're kind of prepared for, this is what you're going to do if we leave. I think everybody does need a plan. It's one thing to have the supplies or have a bug out bag or whatever you want to call it. But if you're not ready to use it, or at least know where you're going once you've got that in your hand, it's worthless.
Yeah.
Right. And that's the part about training. And you're right. It's funny. Like when I went to the academy, my Proby days, when I went to the academy, they're like, you see this shit here? This is called Disney World. They go, we get you ready for how to hook up the hose, to the standpipe, how to drag the hose out into an apartment, how to flake it out. They go, but once the shit is on, that's an entirely different ballgame. And the crazy shit is people don't understand you're following the lead. And for leaders, they have to be the one to be in control and not freak out. So you guys are bugging out, right? You with your kids, you with your girlfriend, and you guys, they're looking at you not to break, not to falter, not to get scared, because they feed off of you. Because when I went to my first fire, I remember looking at a couple of guys and going, and looking at their reaction and feeding off of them. So if they weren't worried, if they weren't over concerned, they weren't screaming, then I was calm, right? And then the more fires you go to, you develop your own sense of how to be. It's the same thing. And like if you had to bug out and you had to lead your family somewhere, you have to be calm so that they feed off of you.
I think there's a saying along those lines where it's something, feelings are contagious or something. Yeah, you're right. If you're afraid, everyone's going to be afraid. If you look confident and you're leading that crew, or like if Bob here was leading his family and he looked scared, the whole family is going to be scared. But if Bob was sitting there, AR-15 ready to go, he's got his bag here, son, take your bag. They're going to be like, okay, this motherfucker knows what he's doing. Let's go.
Yeah.
Oh, but it's feelings are contagious. I think if you're sad, your partner is going to be sad. If you're happy, they're going to be happy. So I agree, man. You just got to be confident and have a plan. And from this here, I didn't expect to take all of this out. I thought we were just going in HR127, but life happens, man. And you just made me open my eyes to the fact that I don't have a plan. And now I feel like I really need to come up with a good plan.
Well, I mean, that's the basis of everything. Like you listen, in the prepper community, you'll have people like Crispy Bean, right? He's like, fuck bugging out. I'm going to help people. Yeah, you should be able to help people if you can. But, right, if you can't help people out, then you gotta take up on your own. I mean, like there's going to be people you're going to help along the way, obviously, if you're bugging out. But again, this bug out talk is, like someone says, hypothetical. We're just spitballing what could happen. I mean, we've watched people in other countries actually leave their countries because of war and shit. I mean, listen, suffice it to say, those people are pussies. They should be holding the ground, holding the line and fighting, but instead they're taking up to other countries and asking for people to take them in. Listen, I don't know, not that I don't know, but I know damn well if we were ever to be invaded, every last American, at least guys I know, we're fighting till it's done, till we're dead, until fucking the war's over. Right? These are the places I'm watching people leave in droves because they're like, it's so bad here. Well, maybe if 10,000 people leaving your country band together, you can absolutely fight. But maybe I'm talking more shit because I'm not in that situation.
Well, so from you saying that right there, immediately I thought of, I don't speak to my neighbors. Every place I've lived in, it's the most you get to is, hey, how's it going? And you go about your day. I've never. Well, I'm not going to say I've never. I've lived in some pretty nice neighborhoods. I've probably moved over 20 times in my lifetime. But anytime we've had a neighbor, it'll be rare to even make eye contact. So now, if shit does hit the fan, now this person that you've seen all these times, you're going to be forced to talk to them. So at that point, it's like, well, is this guy gonna try to rob me in the middle of the night, or, is Miss whatever the fuck down the street? Does she have any food in her house? I don't know. I'm just saying, we don't communicate with our neighbors, so we do need to do that. And I think it goes back to the whole social media thing, where you're so worried about your phone and your next notification that you don't give a fuck about who's next door. You don't care what they're doing. You're worried about your notifications and enjoying your beer or eating your fucking cheese curls, whatever it is. You're not worried about communicating with other people. And I think we do need to do that. Ghost Prepper said, turn neighbors into a resource, not a liability. I agree with that.
That's my jam, man. Not enough people, and I don't know if I can do it when it gets there. What is it? Is it the same vein as, was it a General Mathis quote? Be polite. Maybe it's not him. Maybe he's not the first one that said, I'm sorry if I fucked it up. Be polite, but have a plan to kill everybody in the room. So I do think about that way. Maybe we all need to. I start at my home and concentric circles out, right? If all five of us have our backpacks on and we're heading up the street, everybody I'm going to encounter on my way to the next rally point, am I probably going to have to kill them? Or are they somebody that's going to join with me, if that makes sense? Are they a resource? Are they somebody that's going to be part of our group that can be valuable, that can help us? Or can they hurt us, right? Do I ignore you? Do I think I'm going to need to run you over or run through you? Or are you going to be part of the plan, part of the solution?
Well, I always say people should get to know their neighbors, right? Because there's a couple people in this building I am absolutely going to let die. Because they're fucking assholes. And then there are other people I'm going to help out, right? And then there's people I don't know that I'm going to help out. But it's good to get those neighbors that are assholes out of the way. Now, listen, there's some neighbors that are assholes, but I'm still going to help them because they're not at asshole level like 99. Just throwing it out there, right? They're probably like at asshole level like 1 or 2. So it all depends. Look at that Pennsylvania shooting. You saw that?
Yeah, man, that was incredible.
You didn't see it?
Comes back around to being polite. I guess that makes sense. Like, should they have died? No. But why would you behave at somebody like that? And maybe it comes, and we don't need to go down this road. I guess we're already over time, and you probably have better shit to do, Jason. But an armed society is a polite society. I tell the story a lot when somebody comes at me about carrying. I'm like, look, I have not rumbled in a dark parking lot with a dude because I knew I had lethal force at my disposal. And we should all act as if that makes sense. Like if that couple, I'm not saying that unhinged dude across the street did that was right, but if they had acted as if you say running my mouth might get me killed is the way we should all think, I think, and we'd be nicer to our neighbors. You view the world differently when you think there could be ultimate consequences for your actions, man. And I'm not saying they deserve to die, but they deserve to get smoked in the mouth at least. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, you're talking about the snow murder, the couple that got murdered.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, I didn't think that was in Pennsylvania. Sorry. For some reason, I thought that was like Michigan or Maine or some shit. Minnesota.
Well, you would think, but it was... You watch the video, you're like, holy shit. I sent you the video just in case you didn't see it. But yeah, you know what? The thing is, so then you read the story, and the cousin of one of the people that were killed lives in like England or some shit.
Okay. Yeah, I saw that video.
All right. Right. And so they this person, the cousin, was saying that they were having an ongoing problem with this dude. And so already I'm like, all right, maybe, at first glance, watching the video, you're like, holy shit, these people seem like assholes. Then you find out the backstory. They were having problems with this dude for a while, and it turned into this thing. And it was just like, it was insane how that all went down.
Yeah, bro. That was really hard to watch. Like, my heart was thumping from that shit, man. Like it was like a scary movie. It was fucking insane.
You know, it's crazy. I watch, and I hate to admit it, I watch videos like that a lot, right? From different parts of the world. One reason why I watch it is to get desensitized, just because of the way we deal with shit here, right? So that when you see somebody's fucking foot hanging off, you're not flipping out and puking all over their foot. You're dealing with it as it comes. Now, I watch a lot of those videos too, also because I look at the situation and try to see how to avoid getting in that situation and how to get the hell out if I'm in that situation, right? So obviously, looking at the PA shooting, the way to get out of that situation was for everyone to go to fucking their apartments and cool the fuck down.
Shut the hell up, yeah.
Right. Instead of like everyone running their mouths, calling the one guy a pussy, and the other guy's like, yo, yeah, fuck you. So then, and then what? And then the other guy pulls his gun, she pulls hers, and then bang. Everybody. And then the guy, the hate to say it, but then the husband sits there and leaves his fucking wife. Right? Fucking catches the bullet, turns coward, and fucking leaves his wife. Yeah. So I mean, it just sucked to see that. But if everyone would have fucking just cut the shit, or someone would have jumped in the middle, like, oh guys, knock it the fuck off. You go here, that might not have happened. But the intense hate for one another had already told the backstory.
The hatred, yeah.
Right? Had already told the backstory that they had something else there. Something else was going on. You don't shoot somebody in the head 3 times. You know? That's pure hate. That's something else that's going on.
Yeah, that's hatred.
Yeah, right. That's another road we go. I can't believe that lady was still moving after the number of bullets she took. Yeah. Like she was still moving when it came out with the. And I don't want to take that away from it, but I kind of do. I mean, people talk about, you know, I mean, what capacity in their carry gun and stuff like that, and how many rounds it's going to take to stop somebody and shit like that, and magazine restrictions. Never mind, this is another week. But look at them, like that lady was still moving, speaking, interacting with him, like her brain activity and everything after taking that many. Oh my god, and how painful that's going. Yeah, man. I hope that woke a lot of people up. I hate to see something like that happen, but whether it's, you know, taking a break from your phone and maybe saying more than hi to your neighbors every now and then. Right. Yeah, I think that's all a side effect, man. I think a lot of the violence in this country, period, is because of the distraction of social media and because we ignore our neighbors and our coworkers, and we don't notice that so-and-so, there might be something wrong with them, if that makes sense. Yeah. We don't notice that our relationship with them is not as good as what we think it is.
Or as good as it should be, yeah.
We're ignoring each other, man. We're ignoring the people right in front of our face for everything that's behind the screen. Anyway, we should probably stop. What time? Holy shit, 11:30. I assume you guys got other stuff to do, man. Jason, the Angry Prepper, where can everyone find you? And I'm going to add a link somewhere on my website to you, man, because I just started catching up with what you are, and you're one of the few people I got my notifications on for YouTube. But how the folks that are watching out there, how can they make sure they're getting what you're putting down?
You can head over to the Angry Prepper channel on YouTube or the Angry Truth on YouTube. Like and subscribe to both of them. One of them, you know, if you just want to like and subscribe to hate me, whatever, it's all good. You know, hit all the thumbs down you can, or all the thumbs up. It's all up to you. It doesn't matter. But if you guys are looking for, you know, prepping advice, you can follow me, or you can follow the million other preppers that are on there. I don't like to push my shit like I am it and just listen to me. There's a lot of good people out there. So do me a favor and, you know, again, subscribe to me. Subscribe. I mean, you guys are talking about weapons. This is good. You know, there needs to be more of this kind of shit on YouTube. Because there isn't. We got fucking people worried about what Kim Kardashian is wearing, right? And not worried about how HR127 is going to affect us in a bigger way beyond guns, right? So it's all of these little issues. I mean, we're seeing, you know, we're seeing disasters around the world. We're seeing disasters in California, right? China, I think, just had another earthquake, right? So, I mean, we're seeing these issues. This is what we need to be ready for. Not everything's zombies and fucking government takeover. Sometimes shit's just real. So with that, like and subscribe to all of these channels that you think is right. Now, listen, guys, to be forewarned, I curse a lot. So, don't like my channel and be like, oh my God, my ears are bleeding because it's sensitive. That's not the channel. I'm not that kind of a channel.
You know what, man? Maybe it's because we're broaching some pretty serious topics here, right? Or maybe because you're smarter than me or fucking Ralph. But normally, if you haven't caught the first three episodes we try to put together, man, whoever's here, they know what it's about. Like they ain't gonna be offended by the language. But for sure.
And I had to cut my cursing out because I've had folks in my comment section, hey, I'm trying to watch this with my kid, and you keep dropping F-bombs. So I change my content because of people like that, because I want them to watch it with their kids.
Oh, you know what? Listen, not for nothing, man. Fuck that. All right. These kids are in school cursing left and right, cursing up a storm. These people act like their kids are angels when they come home. I'm watching these what were they, 5th and 4th graders over here when school was in. These kids are like, fuck you, and yelling across I'm like, and these people watching my channel are like, you curse too much of my kids. I'm like, listen, your kids get an early lesson in how to curse right. So when they curse at another kid, they could tell another kid, go lick some camel balls, and that'll shock everyone, right? Early lessons in life, man, early lessons. Other than that, man, I do get it. I do get there's people who don't like cursing. That's understandable. Thank you, Miggy. That was Japan that had the earthquake, not China. Sorry.
Thank you.
They had the earthquake.
Angry Prepper, Jason, thank you so much for joining, man. When we were messaging back and forth, I was like, there's no way Angry Prepper is going to join us tonight. I was like, why the hell would he join us tonight? We're nobody. But we're on the same team, man. We're on the same team.
Well, again, looking at your content, you guys, it's a fun time, right?
Yeah.
That's the other thing. You guys make sure people are having a fun time. So why not? Why wouldn't I, come on and have a fun time too?
And I really appreciate it, man. Thank you so much.
No problem.
It means a lot, man. Jason, Bob.
Take care of yourselves, gentlemen. Thank you
so
much.
Have a good night.
Everybody out there, appreciate you. See you next week.
Next week, 10 o'clock. Boo, boo, boo.